young people for the first time were directly confronting the immediate tangible impacts of surveillance technologies on their own life, because there has been such a wide amount of official propaganda that CCTVs keep us safe. The more something is captured in a digital system, the better it is documented, even in public spaces. And your public conduct should always be that of a perfect citizen. And if you are a normal, ordinary, law-abiding Indian citizen, then what do you have to worry? What do you have to hide? So I think young people for the first time have confronted all these misconceptions which have been raised around digital technology, especially the carceral use of these digital technologies. Given in India, it doesn't come with any frameworks for privacy, for data protection, or for any civilian oversight. The Indian surveillance framework, especially with our policing authorities, is beyond the pale of any transparency. And here, the thing which we need to actually consider is that a lot of these surveillance technologies have been procured for purposes which are unconnected to the surveillance of peaceful protests, which is a constitutional right for every Indian. Now, the Delhi police first procures this technology ostensibly to match missing children, and then the technology which is procured by it ends up also being deployed at railway stations and public transit zones such as metros and bus stations. Thereafter, what they do also is that in Delhi, there are riots in the northeast part of Delhi where these same technologies are used of facial recognition to identify people who are then accused of criminal offenses. And this is a partisan form of a criminal prosecution, which has been documented in fact-finding reports targeting members of the minority community, and subsequently even in quashing and bail petitions which have come up before the Delhi High Court, this evidence has been put to suspicion. This is because the very basis of this technology relies on a probabilistic match of an image of a person from a camera feed in which there may be depicted doing a criminal act, but maybe, let's say, in a public assembly, so there'll be multiple people. There won't be a full facial shot. There'll be almost an approximation which will be there of a person. And in addition to that, what will also be present will be a grainy picture which will be there of that very person from a government identification picture of, let's say, a driving license, an election ID. And we know this because the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, in response to the criminal prosecutions, stating that the prosecutions were objective, stated that they were being done on the basis of facial recognition technology, which is an objective scientific technology. Now, the probabilistic match is also up to a certain error percentage. And as per a right to information request, which my organization, the IFF, had filed, which we had to then contest up to the level of a CIC order, and we got to know that the Delhi Police's own standard operating procedure way back in 2022 considers a 80% match between the live feed image capture and that of the database to be sufficient to establish a person's identity. And this is similar to the percentage of a probabilistic match which was shown by the ACLU to be sufficient in the Amazon's deployment of AI technology to match a US member of Congress with a convicted felon. Now, even if we consider that, well, Apar, technology has improved over these 4 years, as technology has improved and AI seems to be doing magical things, right? We need to consider the consequences are a criminal prosecution. And also we need to consider that the chilling effect which is caused when a mass surveillance technology in which there are not only camera mounted vans, There are also drones which are flying over a peaceful protest. Imagine it's happening in DC or New York. There are drones which are flying above you. The New York police has deputed plain clothes police personnel as well as private contractors to videograph you with smartphones and large image cameras. There are vans which are parked with 12 cameras at a time. Don't you feel threatened to even participate in a peaceful protest or a march? And this is what happened at Jantar Mantar. For this technology, which has no basis in law, does not have any parliamentary oversight, there are no published technical standards, and then are used in criminal processes for potential prosecution, which can take years for any person to show, firstly, I'm not the person, and even if they were the person in that, right, and they are identified as a person, they may only be there violating a prohibitory order for public assembly. So this is why a lot of young protesters were wearing masks, but also I think young people for the first time were directly confronting the immediate tangible impacts of surveillance technologies on their own life, because there has been such a wide amount of official propaganda that CCTVs keep us safe. The more something is captured in a digital system, the better it is documented, even in public spaces. And your public conduct should always be that of a perfect citizen. And if you are a normal, ordinary, law-abiding Indian citizen, then what do you have to worry? What do you have to hide? So I think young people for the first time have confronted all these misconceptions which have been raised around digital technology, especially the carceral use of these digital technologies. Given in India, it doesn't come with any frameworks for privacy, for data protection, or for any civilian oversight.